Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Afternoon Tune. I'm your host, Brother Will. Today, have you heard the good word of the Afternoon Tune podcast? There, and with me is my co-host today, Brother Dusk. How's it going, there, bro?
Hello, sir.
It's good to see you, man. Ready to spread this good word, bring it to the people, man.
I am always ready to spread the good word.
Oh, that is good to hear. We're going to be reviewing the movie Heretic. Heretic, which is starring Hugh Grant there. And that is pretty much it. That's all we got for today as far as reviews. Pretty light when it comes to reviews today. Like I said, before the stream started, I mean, this is probably the quickest stream we'll ever do. Last week we had a bunch of movies there that we had to kind of knock out. But yeah, this week it's only just the Heretic. So that's it. So it's just that. That is about it. I am going to be doing a stream tomorrow. I am going to be doing Agatha All Along. I'll be doing a series review for that because that ended. So I'll be doing that with Christina from Cosmopolitics and also Movie Night Extravaganza. And that's kind of just one thing there that I'm reviewing there. I'm going to be trying to see if somebody can come on Sunday with me doing a review for Gladiator. Moving that because Gladiator, the sequel is coming out. Is it? No, it's the week after. That is Gladiator. Because Gladiator is the
legendary sequel people have been making fun of for years. It's finally happening.
Finally happening. How many years has it been since the first Gladiator?
Almost 20.
Almost 20. And Ridley Scott, he just had his birthday. Yeah, it was 2000 that movie came out. So 24 years since the last Gladiator film.
Yeah.
So Ridley Scott just had his birthday. He's 86, 87 years old now. So
cool. Good on him.
Shout out to Ridley Scott. Yeah, November 30th was his birthday. So yeah, he's still there, still making movies.
Yep, with marginable quality.
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, hey, he's basically making a movie almost every year, every 2 years.
It's really impressive.
Yeah. So sometimes, I mean, it's up and down, but hey, I mean, the last movie before this, Gladiator 2, he did Napoleon, which was okay.
That had its own problems.
Yeah.
Both not in his power and in his power.
Yeah. Then House of Gucci, which was that was one of my worst movies of that year. But hey, that year also had Last Duel, which I like. Last Duel.
Last Duel was pretty good. Yeah,
I like that.
Last Duel was pretty good.
I never saw All the Money in the World. I never saw that.
No, and Alien Covenant was.
And he also those movies came out in the same year too.
They did, but The Martian was pretty good.
The Martian was good. And then before The Martian, last year, the year before that, 2014, was Exodus: Gods and Kings,
which is actually not too bad.
You like Exodus: Gods and Kings?
It's all right. It's definitely a Ridley Scott movie. It has a lot of his traits in it. It's very out there, but it's not. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't the worst compared to a lot of other things he's done. It's not to the extremes where you just go, oh, there's some stuff there. You're like, yeah, this definitely felt like a Ridley Scott idea, and he wanted to go all in on it.
Yeah. So hey, sometimes that happens. Track record kind of goes.
Yeah, absolutely. His brother Tony Scott, God rest his soul, also had his films that were both good and bad depending on when they came out. Yeah. Although I think his brother Tony had a much better track record of consistent hits.
Yeah. Wow, his last movie was Tony Scott Unstoppable. That was his last one. Okay.
That was the Runaway Freight Train.
Yeah, Denzel Washington and Chris Pine. Man, he stayed working with this. He loved Denzel Washington, man. He had him in that and Taking Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Which was a remake of the movie. Man on Fire.
Man, he loved working with Denzel Washington.
Like, who doesn't want to work with Denzel Washington?
True. Yeah, Denzel Washington. Everybody loves Denzel Washington.
Even when he's in a mediocre movie and being lazy about it, he's still Denzel Washington.
Yeah, like even something like Equalizer. It's like, still Denzel Washington. You know what I mean? It's like this.
You don't have to do too much.
So everybody loves Denzel. So I can't wait to see what he does in Gladiator 2. I heard some early reviews of it, but you can't always trust them. But Seems pretty good. And people are really loving Nosferatu. There's some early reviews of
I
Nosferatu.
am I am really it couldn't have landed with a better director, and I'm really hoping that those are true because I definitely see it.
Yeah. So
Uh, I will also check out Gladiator 2, of course, and I wonder were we ever gonna do a review on The Last Juror #2. That's
y-
the Clint Eastwood's last film.
yeah, that's coming out when? Like next week, right?
No, it just came out.
It just came out? I thought it came out
I
next week.
thought it just came out this week, like under the radar.
Really? Because I didn't see it. Uh, Let me see. Let me check the screen because I was looking for it, but mm, I wonder if was it playing near you?
I didn't see it. Yeah, it said it came out November 1st.
Yeah, because I know people have reviewed it, but I think it's like one of those things
Well, they
what's
only released Warner Brothers only released it in 300 theaters.
let me
They
see.
they gave 'em a really small distribution.
Yeah, I don't see it playing anywhere near me. Uh, yeah, it just had a super small release.
Yeah, Warner Brothers only released it, I think it was at 300 or 40 theaters. It was like a really small release.
Oh well, I mean, and
Wi
that's made by Clint Eastwood.
and it's made by Clint Eastwood, one of their big guys, but Warner Brothers is kinda there was a whole controversy as that people feel that they're, doing Clint Eastwood dirty.
Yeah, the closest theater that is playing near me is 45 miles away.
Yeah, man. So,
Yeah.
I'll try and see it.
If you can, I mean, that'd be great. I don't want you to go all the way out of your way because
Nah, nah. I mean, I just wanna. I love Clint Eastwood, and I at least want to check out. This is his last film. I want to owe it the respect and
oh,
see it
he
at
says
least in theaters.
I didn't hear that. He said he's retiring after this?
Well, he's 92,
Mm.
so you
Well,
never know.
how old is Francis Ford Coppola? Is he in his 80s or he's 90s?
I think he's in his 80s.
Yeah, he's up there too, yeah.
We're
Uh,
losing legends.
yeah. Yeah, he's 85.
Yeah.
Crazy ass Francis Ford Coppola,
Hey,
85.
he made a movie I'd never seen before. As
Yeah.
crazy batshit as it was.
So yeah. Okay. So yeah, if you can see it, yeah. I mean, looks like a movie that I'll just check out when it comes to streaming.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's more of a. I love Clint Eastwood as an actor and a writer and filmography guy. So I just would do it in the respect of at least seeing if this is going to be his last movie. At least do the honor of seeing it in the movie theater.
Yeah, but Nathan Flynn, who's been on the show before, he saw it. He really liked it. That's his thing now. He posts about Juror number 2 all day, so that's his new obsession now. So, he really likes it. He really enjoys it. But yeah, I'm excited. Next week is going to be Anora, which I've heard fantastic things about that film. That's starring Mikey Madison. Anora. So I've been hearing so many people watch it
Mm.
and going to see it. And it's like, oh man, you got to go see it. I love this movie. It's like, man, it ain't out in my area yet. It's not here yet, but it's coming next week finally. So I'll be able to get to see it. So I'll review that. Hopefully you'll be able to join me Friday to discuss Anora. Um, but following up with my schedule for this upcoming week, so yeah, Saturday doing Agatha All Along, Christina Cosmopolitics Movie Night Extravaganza. Then Sunday, if I can get somebody to join me, maybe do Gladiator, the retro review for that 2000s Gladiator. Then do Monday. I'm going to do with Sage from Rated Infant Immaturity. We're going to be doing a review for the series Penguin. That ended, that wrapped up. So finally do a season review of that. Batman Mask of the Phantasm, do a review for that to celebrate Batman 85 years. What else we were just talking about? There's also an anime movie out called Look Back, which is on Amazon Prime. So might check
Mm.
that out and give that a review. And do that. It's by the same people who made Chainsaw Man. So yeah, do that, and then no stream for Wednesday, and then like I said, Friday and Nora is kind of going to be on the docket, and then if Dust can see it, maybe jury number 2. Yeah. So that's kind of the streams got planned there. But yeah, posting up reviews, streams, discussions, all that stuff like that, all everything. If you happen to miss the streams on youtube.com, just type in the afternoon tune and you'll be able to find us there. Just went up right now, Salem's Lot. I just did a review for that. That just went up on the YouTube channel. Also, an interview I did with a comic book creator by the name of Christopher Curtis. He has a comic called Dream Match and Jazz. So he's doing a Kickstarter crowdfunding for that to put that out to the people. So it's interesting discussion interview with him. That interview is also up on the channel right now if you want to check it out and discuss it. But yeah. All right. Let's get into this stuff here. You doing pretty good there, Dust?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Oh, good to hear there. And eventually we'll do a best of probably January. I would say that's probably good.
Yeah, when it's closer to, so we can kind of look over the whole year as a whole.
So we'll do probably like January there. Do you already
Best
have?
of is best of's going to be a harder list to make than the worst of.
I got a lot of worse stuff.
Yeah, so do I.
But I
We
got,
need two lists.
I did. It's starting at first. It was like a lot of worse stuff, but now it's starting to balance out. So I got some good best ofs that's starting to match it. So, but there was a lot of worse stuff this year for me. A lot of rough ones. There. I already know what movie's gonna be on your worst stuff. I already know. I know Borderlands is gonna be on there for sure. I know
Mm,
that. I know that for
mhm.
sure. Madam Web might make an appearance for you. I think Madam Web might make.
I had more fun with it just in how atrocious it was.
Mm,
So it's almost like a more so bad it's good. The worst ones are going to just be like so bad it's boring.
mm. I don't know
I,
if Venom. I wonder if Venom might be on
Venom,
there for you.
Venom was just a hot mess, and I was kind of it's bad, but in a way that was weirdly entertaining. I was never bored.
Mm, okay. Yeah.
I would say like Night Swim, early January, like Night Swim, and that that crap is just like it was so boring and just not well done.
Yeah. Yeah. Night Swim was on my list. I thought Night Swim was really boring.
It was just awful.
Have you seen that movie? Afraid. Did you see that movie?
No, I don't. I if I did, I've forgotten about it.
Yeah, it's pretty forgettable. That's the movie with John Cho and it's like the evil AI and shit like that.
Oh yeah, I didn't even see that one.
Yeah, I reviewed that one. That one's pretty bad too, though.
Ugh.
That's
Oh,
super forgettable.
remember Tarot card?
Oh yeah, Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that one.
the only person anyone remembers from that movie is the best friend from Homecoming, Spider-Man.
Yeah, Jacob. I think it's what Jacob Babylon is his
Ah,
name.
I
I
feel
think.
so bad. I'm like, why are you here, man?
Well, he needs to do something, man. They ain't making Spider-Man movies right now. He
No,
needs
and
something.
they basically got him out of the situation, so he don't go, he's not his friend anymore.
Yeah, and somehow he survived. That everybody who faced one of the monsters, he for some reason he survived. I don't know why, but
I don't know.
he was like maybe it was in his contract. Hey, like listen,
Look, you can't kill me, all right?
listen. I'm Spider-Man's best friend. Okay, like I'm the only person that anybody knows in this fucking movie. You can't kill me.
I
So
mean, that might have actually been in his contract. It's like, look, he's the only face that anyone's gonna recognize of these rest of these people. We'll keep him alive.
yeah. He was in I forgot. Oh yeah, he was also in Shortcomings. He was good in that. I liked him in
Hmm.
Shortcomings. That's a good movie. But yeah, yeah. So there's that. But I got some good best ofs. I think I made a good list of some best ofs so far. Towards the now that the year is about to wrap up, we're already November. Hell, we're already in mid-November. Hell, before you know it, it's Thanksgiving. Before you know that, boom, it's already Christmas. Boom, it's already New Year's, and then the year's over. It's wrap. 2025 is coming in there. If I had to guess of what would be on your best of, I would say that mm, probably Dune would be on your best of. I say Dune for you.
Yeah, Dune was definitely very good. It had its issues story wise that he changed, but I mean visually, acting wise, it was an incredible movie.
Mm, yeah. Um, so yeah, Dune. So Dune. I would also guess for you. I think probably Wild Robot. I think you really love
I
Wild
did
Robot.
enjoy Wild Robot quite a bit. Yes, that's
Yeah,
probably going to be on my top list.
yeah. Could you guess any one of mine? That's gonna be.
Uh, hmm. I was actually going to suggest Wild Robot because you seemed to really enjoy that last time we talked.
Yeah. Besides
Um,
that,
I'm gonna be honest. I really blank after I finish a movie. I kind of blank out. We go through so many. I just go, "Oh yeah, I did watch that," and then it comes back.
yeah. Do you keep track at all with Letterbox? The Letterbox. I'm glad I'm on Letterbox because it really
I
helps
don't have a
me.
letterbox, and maybe I really should
Yeah, because that
because that
helps
would
you keep
really
track.
help. That would
Yeah.
really help me.
Throughout the year. I started this I think a year or two ago, and it's helped because it really gets you see how many movies you see a year and everything like that. Let me see how many movies I've seen this year. Let me do a list here because they'll even break it down by the year you've seen it, which is also very helpful. So this year, 2024, 81 films. Oh,
Damn, I felt like it.
yeah, 81 films. That film's kinda slight, actually. I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest. You also that doesn't include TV shows.
Yeah. Last year, I'm slacking because last year it says here I watched 129 films.
I believe that. I remembering last year. I believe it.
Yeah, like, damn, okay, yeah, so
We
I'm
watched a
slacking a little bit.
lot.
Slacking. Well, actually, it's,
You
I
saw The
guess.
Substance, right?
Yep, I saw The Substance.
I think The Substance might be on your list.
I did love The Substance. The Substance. That soundtrack, I've been listening to that soundtrack. That
Mhm.
soundtrack is kinda cool. That techno kinda.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Synth, yeah, the synth style. Ever since John Carpenter he did a lot of his soundtrack, even in the '80s, used synth music like that. He did the soundtracks for all the Halloween movies, the newer ones. So if
Mm,
nothing else, the soundtrack to the Halloween movies are killer.
yeah. And, yeah, John Carpenter, he's just like, "Man, leave me alone. I just wanna play video games. I don't care
Hey
about."
man, he watches stuff and his comment of like, how do you feel about people remaking his movies? Like, oh, it's great. I put my hand out and money magically floats into it every time they make a remake of something I made.
Yeah. Seems like he's got some contempt for, like, Rob
Oh, he
Zombie.
hates Hollywood. He
Mm,
despised it.
yeah.
By the end of his by the nearing end of his like career into the '90s, you could, especially with the Escape from LA, you could there's a lot of vitriol in it where you can very much tell he hated Hollywood. He hated that kind of environment.
Mm, yeah. What was his last movie, John
The
Carpenter?
last movie he did was like as recent as I think 2014.
Dang, let's see, what is the
It was
last movie?
something with the W. I'm trying The Watcher, I think.
The Ward,
The War
2010.
20 okay, 20 it was a 2010 movie. That's the last thing he's done. Other than that, he mostly just tours with other people, and he has like he now has a career as just being a soundtrack guy, making music for stuff and playing his stuff, and
Yeah,
people go.
and
He
this was in
which
20. Oh, this
as much
started.
as he doesn't like the movie Hollywood, he goes to cons, he goes to all cons, sign stuff,
Conventions,
tell
yeah,
stories. He's a cool dude.
yeah. Yeah, and his movie before that was Ghost of Mars, so it was a
Oh, dude,
9-year break.
that was horrendous even for him.
Then he did Vampires before that. He did Escape from LA before that, Village of the
Mhm.
Damned, In the Mouth of Madness,
The
Memoir.
the Mouth of Madness is not too bad. It has its moments. The 90s were not kind to John Carpenter.
Yeah. But that soundtrack with the new Halloween movies, like you said, is pretty good. I do.
Oh yeah, no, that's one of the best parts of it.
Mm, yeah. Awesome stuff. All right. Let's pull up this review here. Pull up my notes for it. Go ahead and get started on it. Good old Heretic. Man. Good old Heretic. Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant's one of those actors too that's making a little bit of a comeback. Hugh Grant.
I've
Came
always liked Hugh Grant. He's always been a solid actor. So he always had this charm about him, even when he was in rom coms. He
Yeah.
was he himself has said he stumbled into acting as a career. He always did acting assuming he would find his way into another career, and it just never happened, and so it ended up that being his career.
Mm,
And you do get that vibe where he doesn't take himself entirely too seriously, which I honestly think really helps his performance in a lot of his works.
yeah. All right. Okay. So all right, let's get into this. So, our first review of the day, first and only review of the day,
Mhm.
is going to be for the film called Heretic. Heretic, which is starring Hugh Grant, is directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. Scott Beck and Brian Woods, they also were on A Quiet Place, day one. There, they were
No, they
also
did the original A Quiet Place. They wrote it.
they wrote it. They wrote the original Quiet Place there. They're writers on that. They're coming in here with this film, Quiet Place. And you also stars two young women, Sophie Thatcher. People might know Sophie Thatcher. She was in
Yellow Jackets.
Yellow Jackets. She was in The Mandalorian.
As
She
Trash, I think.
Yep. She was. I'm sorry, not the Mandalorian. In the Book of Boba Fett.
The Book of Fett.
I'm sorry. I
It's
got
fine.
confused because that became the Mandalorian show
Yeah,
after like the last.
it's fine. It's fine.
She was in that. She was in Maxine in that as well. So she's a up and coming young actress there, Sophie Thatcher. And you also have another young actress by the name of Chloe East as well. Chloe East, who's been in things like A Generation. She was in things like The Fablemans
Mhm,
there, which was that Steven Spielberg movie. So you have kind of a reverse knock knock situation. Remember that movie Knock Knock with Keanu Reeves there? You know, those two women coming to his door in the rain, cold, wet,
mhm,
shivering, and he kind of invited them in and it was like, hey, let me help you out. Let me get you out of the rain there. And they kind of flip the script on him and goes like, you know what I mean? They like, oh, you thought you was about to have some fun.
mhm,
And kind of a reverse kind of situation here where you get the women that come to the door. They're Mormons. They're trying to spread the good word. These two women, Sister Barnes, who's Sophie Thatcher, Sister Paxton, who's Chloe East, trying to do good, trying to spread the word here, and comes to the house of Hugh Grant, who plays Mr. Reed. And yeah, he kind of flips the scripts on them and kind of puts them in this game, this test of religion, of faith. You know, what's going to happen to them, imprisons them, and it's about kind of how they're going to make their way out and what can they do to survive this kind of sadistic man here. Yeah, so I'm gonna pass it to Dusk, get his thoughts on it. Dusk, what are your thoughts on Heretic?
Heretic is one of these newer horror movies by A24. A24 is has some, it's kind of a half and half. Sometimes you get something good with A24, sometimes you get something not great with A24, but they've always been good at least balancing their budgets and picking very small specific scripts with very specific intentions on whatever they're trying to talk about. This movie happens to be more focused on belief and faith and really focusing on it, especially with the character of the Hugh Grant, who welcomes the two characters, Sophie and Chloe, into his home. And from there, they talk a little and get to know each other. And then they start noticing factors about him that start to kind of put them on edge, but they're friendly enough. And then that divulges into a setting where they kind of are now trapped with him and deal with him. And because this is this nature, it becomes more of a bottleneck movie. And the strength of that really has to come down to the actors involved. Fortunately for this one, I think the actor and actresses really do a good job in the role of this. I think Hugh Grant uh, honestly just plays a very solid character. He plays himself a lot, but I do think there's a bit of nuance here that he is able to portray in a more sinister character while still being not quite over the top at first. That slowly divulges more and more while still keeping that character. As for the girls, I think they do a solid job of playing more in it. One being a little more innocent than the other, and one being a little bit more ready to commit action or be a little bit more forward with action. That they kind of bounce off of each other. I would be curious to see someone who would see this with someone who is from a Mormon or the Latter Day Saints. I would be interested to see how they feel about it, but I thought they gave it good enough respect to the both its religion and more on a spiritual religious aspect of, well, what do you believe in, what do you put your faith in, and he's going to use that to exploit these characters.
Mm, yeah. Um, and Hugh Grant in this movie, he's been much talked about in this film for his
Mhm.
performance. We talked a little bit about it earlier. Hugh Grant, who's had a little bit of a career resurgence, a little bit these past few years. In things like the recent Dungeons and Dragons movie he was in, which I thought he did a good job there. He's mostly been kind of used as a comedic role in some things there, like in Paddington movies where he played the villain in that, which he did a really good job. And usually when he pop up and when you see him in kind of these various roles, he usually does really well in it. Here, this is more of a horror role, given the movie that he's in here, and I think he does a really good job in this, and really the build up and the tension to it, leading to with these women, and then with the positions that he puts these women in, is very good. And it's not a and it's a horror movie that's not a bloody horror movie. It's not
Mhm.
incredibly bloody, it's not incredibly gory, it's not
It's more of a psychological thriller.
yeah, it's a psychological thriller there. It's playing with the anticipation of something happening,
This
and
isn't no long legs.
yeah, you see that, and then, we had a kind of another discussion about a movie called, what was that movie with Brandy, The Front Room?
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Oh my god. Compared to this,
yeah.
this is a masterclass taking something of that setup compared to Front Room, which is amateur hour.
Yeah. So that was kind of a similar thing there where it's trying to build up a lot of tension. But the problem with that movie is it never really led to anything
Mhm.
really impactful or meaningful there. And it was also trying to say something, but I think it kind of failed at that. Heretic, I think, does the opposite. I think it does build up tension. You can't just build up tension and
Mhm.
then don't lead to anything. I think, yes, this movie builds up tension, but it actually leads to something and it actually does something there with that. And it constantly is progressing more and more as the movie goes on, which I think is also very impressive there. And also give credit to the women in this as well. I mean, Sophie Thatcher there, who I've seen her in other stuff before. I think she does an excellent job in Yellow Jackets. That's where I very, very first saw her there. And Sophie Thatcher, who plays Sister Barnes. Like you said, the dynamic between the two of them. Barnes is more of the, I would say, closed off one,
Mhm.
more of the one that's more serious, compared to the other ones. Sister Paxton there, who's played by Chloe East, who I don't think I've seen her in anything else before. I think this is my first time seeing her in anything. Who's much more open, much more friendly, much more, you know what I mean, kind of trusting there, and you see that as kind of they're going around the town there,
She
and
comes in more with an open heart and an open mind, really full in. Barnes, she comes in welcomingly enough, but there is a level of more, worldly or a bit more of a wisdom, a bit more closed off, friendly, but to a point where, there's some things that Barnes notices that Paxton is oblivious to.
mm, yeah. So yeah, you see that when they're kind of right around the town, and then one of them, one of the other teenagers in town, like pulls the girl's pants down and everything like that when she takes a photo with her. So yeah, you kind of see that dynamic play out there throughout the course of this, which is also very good to see. Um, and it's not a long movie; it's only an hour and 50 minutes, so it
Perfect
does look
amount.
perfect amount of time, doesn't belabor the point. Um, do you think with this movie being such a heavy focus on religion, do you think it's handled in a good way? Do you think it's kind of sloppy at any moments? Do you think it's
It
too heavy-handed? Do you think
There are some elements, of course, that are a little heavy-handed. There are some elements, of course, that go over the top, but they come from the point of view from the villain. Most of the religious aspect of it is more from a spiritual focus and what do you believe in? Do you believe in this and afterlife? And really kind of testing what they're preaching. It's almost like, do you believe actually what you're preaching?
Mm,
And ultimately, the movie is about, yeah, believing in faith and do the characters, their situation they're put into, do they have faith? Do they have faith in the situation, both in how they're going to get out of it and also what they're going to do to get out, and they have faith in each other and getting it. I think it doesn't it's not too negative on religion. If anything, it's a little bit more like you got to have something, even if there's something you got to believe in something. Uh,
mm,
but there are worse things to believe in, and there are bad things, and it makes it very clear what Hugh Grant's character, Mr. Reed, believes in is not a good thing,
mm.
and it's a deep perversion of what they're trying to bring in. So I thought they did well enough, and yeah, you really can't mistake by the end of when he actually goes into his monologue of what the one true faith is. It's like, yeah, there's a reason why he's the villain.
Mm. Yeah, and there is a moment. I wonder if that's when this comes on streaming DVD. If that moment, like he compares he starts talking about the all the derivative nature of things, and they're the original, and then there's the copies and everything. He starts going through the music as an example, and then board games. I wonder if that'll be clipped and people put that on there and go like,
Oh,
"Whoa,
absolutely.
this is so
No,
deep." Yeah.
yeah. Let's be for real. They will very much do so, and I'm sure it will be used in arguments from both sides. and I think it's fair enough. Honestly, I didn't take it away from me to enjoying the movie in itself, but I could see where people might be upset by it or might take issues with it.
Yeah. So what would be your final thoughts, rating
Mm,
for
I
Heretic?
actually going into this movie, I saw the trailer beforehand, and I went, "This could be okay." A24 has hit and miss, so we'll see how it goes. And I was actually pleasantly surprised that it wasn't too bad. And I actually enjoyed the performances. And as a bottleneck, it relies on those performances and the situation to get you through this movie. It wasn't long. It didn't belabor its point. It set up the characters, utilized them. The first 2/3 of the movie, I think, are very strong, and then the last third, it does pull off its twist, and I thought that was fine as well. But it definitely, you could definitely tell where it's like, okay, yeah, you gotta get to the ending at this point. You got to go where you wrap this up, and it did feel a little bit rushed at the end, but that didn't take away from the very end of the movie where I thought it ended on a fine enough note. With that said, I think honestly I would give this a solid tune in. This is pretty nice. This is not too bad.
Okay, solid tune in. Um, yeah, I mean, gets does job with its runtime, doesn't belabor the point like Dust said. Does a good job, with the performances here. And like with a movie like this, it's a very performance driven movie. Very much. It's not like I said. It's more of a thriller, not really horror. And people say, what's the difference between thriller and horror? I always say a horror is more supernatural. It's more something like that that's in play,
Mhm.
and thriller is more of a human impact. Your
Mm.
serial killer or stalker or somebody like that. And this falls more in the thriller kind of category.
It,
Um,
that's why both genres can kind of weave in and out of each other.
Yeah, because when you're really watching the movie, it does play with that. It does play with those themes of supernatural and is possibly something supernatural happening or going on here, and with all this talk of religion, is there gonna be a religious experience kinda happening? So it does play with that, and even the way the movie ends, it ends in an ambiguous type of way where it is, okay, is there something religious kinda happening, with this character? So I think it still does play with that there. Great performances from all 3, Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher, Chloe East. They all do a wonderful job in this, and selling it, and it's primarily just them. I mean, it's just
Mm.
them in this house, bottleneck film as Dustin described it, um, and they really do a good job at acting off each other, how things progress throughout the story, how things ratchet up, the tension ratchets it up, and like I said, it builds to something, and it's going somewhere. It's not just building up the tension just to lay an egg at the end of it, and I think it is a solid ending there and does end well. Because I've seen some movies that do a great job of building up attention and they go absolutely nowhere, and it's like, what the fuck was the point of that?
Yeah.
And I don't think this movie does that. So, yeah, I would say it's a strong tune in for me
Mm.
for Heretic there, and Dustin also gives a strong tune in there. So, two strong tune ins all around for Heretic there.
Mm.
Um, and for the directors of this movie, I believe it is their directorial debut. I believe this is, if I'm
I
not
No, they directed 65.
Oh, 60 was that Adam Driver movie?
Yeah.
Oh,
They
okay.
they wrote and directed that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So, yeah,
mm,
that I believe was their they may or
director.
may not have been their directorial debut, but they wrote and directed both of them.
Okay. Well, well, they bounced back. I mean, they they bounced back,
They've
'cause I
also they also directed the slasher film Haunt. That was in 2016,
mm,
and Nightlight in 2015. So they've had other movies that they've directed as well. So
okay. Yeah. Alright. Well, I mean, hey, they bounced back. Look to see what they
yeah,
do
good for
next.
them.
Maybe horror is their thing. Maybe horror is where they found it at.
Where they really shine.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and rate somebody. Go and get out of here. Let's see who's on right now. Yadira, she's on right now, so I'll go ahead and give her a raid. Thank you, Dust, for joining me, man. It's
Yeah,
a
no
short
problem.
stream. Got in and out.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that was pretty quick there. So I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be back Saturday. Agatha all along doing a season review of that with Christina from Cosmopolitics there and Movie Night Extravaganza. Sunday, I'm gonna be back. If I can, if somebody wants to join me for Gladiator 2000, maybe do a review for that. Um, Monday, I'm gonna be with Sage from Rated Immaturity. We're gonna be doing Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, The Penguin. We're also gonna be doing Look Back there, and possibly do a review for Batman: Arkham Asylum. Why not do some Batman kind of theme show there? Man, I can't believe that game came out in '09. I was like, damn, it was that long ago that Arkham Asylum came out. Man, but
Mhm.
that was a great game. Possibly one of the best superhero games ever made. I would say Batman: Arkham.
Arkham Asylum is definitely one, and that was from we hadn't really had super great like in-house DC great games. Like you get occasionally good ones here and there. More like Spider-Man, you get a pretty good ones. But to get such a great game with Arkham Asylum was kind of unheard of, and then to get two more after that,
Yeah.
uh,
Did you like Origins?
I
Or
actually did like Origins. I understand why it got heat. I get it. It was made from a subsidiary, but I thought they did a lot of a quality job in it. A lot of it was Warner Brothers at that point because they knew they had bug fixes and they kind of rushed it out.
mm,
They actually told Warner Brothers told the people who made that game they knew there's a lot of bugs with this game, but we want you to prioritize making DLC for it first before fixing bugs in the main game. They openly said that, so I understand why people. But I actually felt Arkham Origins doesn't get a lot of credit for a lot of it did. Yeah, it's a little derivative on certain features and here and there, but I thought it did a strong. It was strong enough. I would have liked to see more Black Mask stuff, but I understand.
yeah.
The marketing was actually pretty strong with that one too. But I
I
think
remember this trailer. This trailer
Mhm.
was badass. I
Yeah,
remember.
Australia's good. There's also the short one where it's just Bruce Wayne as a kid, as a young kid, and he like shows him the parents being shot, and then it just cuts to him at different stages of his life, and he doesn't blink anymore. He doesn't flinch. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
also very good.
This one right
Quick,
here, I think.
yeah, that was a very good one.
Yeah,
So it had some good, strong marketing tied to it. All the Arkham games did,
yeah.
and I consider the Arkham games being the last one being Arkham Knight, not Suicide whatever Squad. Mhm.
Vin Diesel. Oh, there you go.
Vin Diesel. Hey, you gotta put that mask on over and over again. You really don't have time for a lot of hair. You gotta keep it short.
Yeah, yeah. But it was just it was kind of a game that it was alright. It wasn't as good as like City. Um,
Sure. It wasn't as
um,
groundbreaking as City.
it wasn't good as that. I think City's probably the best one out of every.
I have a really big soft spot for the first one, Arkham Asylum.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed that one a lot. It's very self-contained. I felt it fit it better, pretty well. But yeah, I can't argue against that. Someone says they like City better. It
And
really just depends.
I remember if I can't remember if I bought that or not, but this is like they
Mhm,
shut down now, but that magazine, Game Informer, they had that iconic Batman City cover,
mhm. Oh
and
yeah,
I was like, "Man, I think I went to the GameStop and got that, one, I bought that." I was like, "This is, like, bad," because that was, like, when he was in his, all white suit and
yeah. He
everything
was in
like
his
that.
all white suit. Yeah,
Yeah, it was this one right here, yeah. I was like, this shit went hard right here." I was like, "Oh, man, that's
yeah.
bad." Yeah, I
That
remember.
famous issue. People would love to read that issue because they had the original archives, but then who bought out Game Informer when they announced that they were shutting down Game Informer, also shut down the archives, so
Yeah.
people can't even access 20 years plus of the archives they kept online. It didn't even give them time for people to archive them.
Yeah, that's yeah. That when we covered that story, that was the sad thing about it. That people who had all the, you know, all the years of work they did and everything like that, it was just gone. It was just like
Yeah,
they
just
couldn't
to
even
save
act.
money.
You know what I mean? It's like, man, I worked for decades for this company, and then all the articles I did, all the stuff I did,
Mhm.
just
Just
gone.
wiped.
You know what I mean? Some
I don't.
people did save it. Some people
Mhm,
said, "Oh, okay, I did save some backups of it,"
mhm.
but
I
that
don't
wasn't.
think the entire archive is wiped. It's just no longer on the server's not on. They just turned off the servers.
Mm,
So I think it's still there, but they're just to save money, they just turned the servers off.
uh, yeah.
I hope.
Hopefully. Yeah, maybe I hope it's just that's as simple as just, flipping a switch and then boom, you can just access it again. But I hope it's that simple.
I hope it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. And yeah, so that's what we got. And hopefully Dust can join me. Hope you can join me next Friday. Like I said, Honora is the big movie coming out next week. I think that's it. Really, it's just Honora. Do you know any movie coming out next week? Any others? Oh, I think. Oh, that's right. I forgot. There's that shitty ass red one. There's that. I think that's coming out next week. That movie with J.K. Simmons, Santa Claus, and Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
I refuse
You're
to
not
believe that
excited
movie.
for that?
I refuse to believe that movie's real. I keep thinking like every time I see it, I was like, "Bro, this shit ain't a real movie. This is fucking trickery. This shit is not a real movie." But yeah, so
Word
there's
only
that.
so easy.
Yeah, that's coming out next week. So there's that. It's already got 34% on Rotten Tomatoes. So it's already got that.
Oh, you don't say.
I'm surprised even early screenings of it. All right, were they that
Yeah.
confident in it? People keep people early screening. So yeah, so there's that. So Anora and Red One is what we got coming up for Friday there. So yeah, I'm gonna send you all to Yadira there. Great streamer. She's playing some Fortnite right now. Snoop Dogg just got added to Fortnite, so you got that.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, everybody's getting added to
Yeah,
Fortnite.
that's what I'm like. At this point, everybody's been at it. I thought he was already.
Yeah, when are you gonna get added to Fortnite? Though?
I would love it
Yeah,
as long as I get some cash for it.
yeah. I don't know what the deal is for you to be added to Fortnite. I don't know how much money you get, what the bag is, but
It's gotta
maybe
be
it's kind
something
of
good.
gotta be something good. All right. Yeah. There you go. All right, people. Peace.
Stay tuned.